Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Underexposed, our weekly macro show hitting all the biggest topics and trends impacting crypto and Web3. Today is Tuesday, May 5th, 2026. Cinco de Mayo, day for tacos and tequila, and it might be more fun to throw back some tequila shots today because you can chase them with some green candles. Crypto majors are soaring. Crypto VC is back and ready to spend billions. Sailors chomping at the bit in the order books. We got a lot to get into on today's show. I'm your host, Tyler D. I got D's in the house with me. D's, GM, how you doing?
GM, dude, we're doing great. This is a good Tuesday to be on this show. Prices are up. Where our parents are, being onboarded and gambling on shitcoin. So it feels like we might be back some way.
Incredible things happening in the D's family text trenches. So I can't wait to get into that.
Yeah, I can't wait either, sadly. I just hope my mom doesn't lose all her money.
A bit of a vibe shift. We spent October to March, every Tuesday show, it was red. We were lower than we were the prior week, and we were usually actively selling off during the show. And then since April, it's kind of the opposite. We're seeing some Tuesday rallies. You absolutely love to see it. Well, we'll pull up the board here in a bit. No Peter Jennings today. He is out. So D's and I will probably kick things down the risk curve a little bit. We'll talk a little bit of macro, this Bitcoin pump. We're going to talk some tokens, ZEC, Hype's rebound, these Coinbase layoffs, and a few details of Brian Armstrong's statement that didn't sit quite well. We'll go into those. Crypto VC heating up. And then NFTs, we've been kind of dancing around this. I think we got to talk about this NFT resurgence. It feels there's more and more signs that it might be real. We'll talk about what we're trading and a whole lot more. Before we get into it, a couple of housekeeping items. We are live on Kick. Make sure to follow us over there. We're also streaming on X, as we always do. 2 giveaways at the end of today's show. So you want to make sure you are eligible for those. You need to be signed up over on yeek.com with our Morning Minute affiliate code. There'll be a code on the screen here to enter over on the giveaway site. Color of the day is green. All right, that is the Yeek code. So you want to make sure you enter that to be eligible for our spins at the end of today's show. And before we get started, as always, a quick disclosure. The opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the speakers and do not reflect the views or opinions of any organizations they are associated with. We are here to share insights, provoke thought, and maybe even start some debate, but this is not, I repeat, not financial advice. While we're talking about markets, investments, and trends, remember, your financial decisions should be made with the help of your own research or with advice from a licensed professional. All right. Well, let's get into it. I will pull up the screen share so folks can follow along. And what a screen it is. Crypto majors booming. Bitcoin 81.5, up 2% on the day, 7% on the week, up 21% on the month. So pretty solid little stretch here. ETH at 2380. It is lagging. So it's up 4% on the week, 16% on the 30-day. Solana is just sideways. Solana's up 1%. It's at 85.50. It's up 7% on the 30-day. So up a touch. Hype's doing quite well, up 6.5%, $44, up 24% on the month. So outperforming Bitcoin and other majors. And then ZEC has been the story of the weekend, or at least the last week. It's up 28% on the week, 77% on the 30 days. So we'll get into each and all of those. Maybe just starting with Bitcoin and broader crypto. Are you getting bulled up yet? How are you feeling about this little pump, D's?
Yeah, I think we're bulled up. I think we're excited for the sailor buys coming in here over the next week or two. The monthly buys before the middle of the month. I think as long as stocks are making new all-time highs, we have some catching up to do. So it's hard not to be bullish. Like if you open up the S&P and you see that at all-time highs or right around it, then it's exciting thinking about crypto catching up. We have a lot of ground to make up. If we went from 80, if the S&P is like, okay, it's 7250 now. If that's at 8K in a month or two, and Bitcoin is back to like 120K, you're not going to be surprised at all. I feel like I said something similar to that on at least a couple of the shows now, but like as long as you see stocks making new all-time highs, crypto catching up is not going to surprise you. At least Bitcoin catching up, and then maybe like the hype and Zcash and whatever pockets of outperformance. But yeah, I'm bowled up.
Huge moves. I'm looking for Nasdaq. I saw that the Nasdaq was up 23% this month.
From the bottom, yeah, that's probably right. Because when the end of March happened, it was at like 23, and now it's at 28. Right?
I'm seeing 25.3. Maybe I've got the wrong.
Oh, I'm looking at NDQ. Sorry, okay. I'm looking at NDQ on my list.
Yeah,
so slightly different, but
yeah, it's a little bit different. Yeah, but regardless, huge moves in broader markets. So Bitcoin's kind of just keeping up, right? It's not even really outpacing, which is, I think, to your point, a part of my bull case now is that this is kind of just us keeping up with the Joneses, so to speak. Saylor's done his part, although he didn't buy any last week. So we were able to keep our heads above water for the last couple of weeks without a big Saylor bid. We know those are coming. Stretch isn't at 100 yet. It's at 99.94. Doesn't look like it's going to get there today. I think it'll probably get there tomorrow. If not, definitely by the end of this week. And then we'll have 4 or 5 pretty big days of Saylor bid, which, where's it going to take us? I've seen people calling for 84, 85. I'm kind of at like the 90 number for this next move. Just looks like it's clear skies above to me. Do you have anything jumping out?
Yeah, I guess my levels on the chart would be like 87 to 93, like that range. So I wouldn't be surprised to see us continue to march kind of straight up there. But I honestly, I'm looking at like 100, 105. That's more where I'm looking. Maybe I'm a delusional. But I just think we have a lot of catching up to do, and maybe I've always been kind of someone who has underplayed the quantum stuff too. So if we get past that FUD coming up all the time, I think that's good too. I don't know what actual progress we've made since the Jameson Lopp proposal, but just getting that out of our mind and not worrying about it is both good for price, but maybe not best for long-term security.
I mean, imagine just this scenario. If we get Iran war comes to some kind of conclusion and we get the Clarity Act passed in the month of May on top of a Saylor bid.
On top of a quantum fix.
Well, I think those 3 alone gets us to mid 90s. Then if quantum is somehow like a real solution comes out as well, I mean,
150.
I'll be ready for
easy. It's called the easy road. That's when the easy road appears.
You're gonna be retweeting Kobe's premature easy road call.
Yes,
every day.
I've been waiting, dude. I got it bookmarked. I'm ready.
I'm ready as well.
That's kind of like how religious people have like their favorite Bible verse and they like go back and reread it. It means a lot to them. Like I don't really have one of those verses. It's just like I got Kobe 3:16, and it's just me going back reading the tweet about the easy road.
If that's your favorite, let me pull that.
That's the one that just comes to mind when I need hope, right? Like that's like, you're in despair, you have a rough day, you got in a fight with your wife, your kid doesn't like you, like open up the Bible of Kobe and you just read that tweet and you're like, all right, we're close to the easy road. I can get through this.
If we can really if we can show signs of breaking out of the 4-year cycle, I think the sideline money will come in. I feel like people are maybe underestimating the sell pressure that Saylor has absorbed. And this was part of my bull case at 120 last year, is that eventually we're going to run out of sellers. And then, of course, we found a whole lot of new sellers.
I hate when that happens.
At some point, his accumulation has to matter. And
at some point, we're going to run out of new sellers.
We're going to have a foundation for legging up more quickly. And I don't know. I'm kind of starting to talk myself into new highs in 2026, which I wasn't really there.
I feel like consensus was way too heavy on like Q4 bottom by the whatever dip you get in Q4. That's just not going to be the optimal play. Like there's too many people who are 4-year cycle waiting for that, theoretical bottom.
Is that why folks are not more excited? So like I talked about this on FOMO, but like I kind of looked around Twitter today, like Bitcoin's 81.5. This is going up every 5 minutes. Not that much excitement out there.
Dude, I mean, half of Twitter doesn't even own Bitcoin. You got fucking Ansem and Banks coming out with a new podcast talking about how they basically don't own crypto and they're pivoting to, AI and just going to keep up with markets and trade whatever, has a narrative. I think that's a good, like test to see like where are a lot of people in crypto at. Like I wouldn't be surprised if there's a lot of people who are quiet because they don't fucking own any Bitcoin. I think we've slowly killed people's hope, and like the terrible price action we've had since 1010 combined with the incredible price action that AI stocks have had and tech in general has just taken out the average CT tourist who was here for the easy money. And that's good. I mean, they'll come back as price goes higher. Like I'm sure they're gonna like Bitcoin more when it's 100K than they're liking it at 70 or 80.
Yeah, I mean, even the people who are here, right? Like if I unstar this, like the people who are here still are trading stocks. Like let's look at the hyperliquid board here. So Bitcoin.
Where's our volume at? Oil.
Bitcoin, Ether 1 and 2, and then it's oil, two kinds of oil, the S&P, then it's HYPE, then it's the stock 100 index, then silver. So 5 of the top 8 are non-crypto assets.
So while we're here, can we point out that TON is up 26% today?
Yes.
What is going on with TON? Did I miss some news this morning, or is it just
you may have missed some news? Yeah, Pavel Durov, the founder, has really been leaning in.
Okay.
And they've been kind of executing a roadmap. So last week they slashed fees. The fees are so fees have dropped 6x.
Okay.
Nearly to 0. And then
Telegram replaces the TON Foundation as the driving force behind TON.
Yeah, I'm leaning into Telegram.
Maybe, I mean, I'm just so ignorant. I thought Telegram was the TON Foundation. That wasn't how this was set up, I guess. Like in my head, TON, like Telegram was running TON in my mental model of the ecosystem, but maybe that wasn't explicit until.
Yeah, I think that's a fair take. And I'm not really exactly sure the key players in all of these.
That's good to see. I mean, that is one of those tokens that's like high up there. I feel like not many people on crypto Twitter own it at all, but then we all use Telegram.
Yeah, it's one of those real world, like a lot of people use Telegram.
Yeah, like everybody I know on crypto Twitter probably uses Telegram, but I would assume less than 10% of the people I talk to own this token, which is interesting. But it's nice to see it catching such a strong bid.
Top comment here is talking about the ton flywheel. So Telegram validates, other players join, as a sign of confidence that they're going to start validating for more yield, more tons staked, circulating supply shrinks, network security goes up, fees down, more users, more reasons to validate. That's a sexy flywheel right there. That's the ton flywheel.
Okay.
I think Pavel just leaning in, I think has also been a part of it. And also, I mean, you want to talk about like sold off tokens. I mean, was a top 10 token for a while.
Yeah, I remember when it was over $5. That was kind of the price it was in my head for a while.
Yeah, so this went to 8. I mean, it's basically like the $1.20 is effectively like lifetime support.
It's got a lot of room to run here. I might be killing myself.
We're gonna start a Tontard chat here. Now that
I'll get my mom in that one.
All right. So on that note, what is Deez's mom trading? So you got some.
The first token she sent me was a Luna Classic, dude. I don't know where she found it, but a couple days ago, I get this text message from my mom that says GM. I'm like, oh boy, she's already GMing. And then she sends me a picture of the Luna Classic chart and says, spiritual people are saying God showed them it's going to rise from the ashes. And I just couldn't keep it together. I basically told her TLDR on what happened with the Luna ecosystem and how I don't think it's going to rise from the ashes back to $119. But it's fun to see her in some type of trenches. Like she's clearly in some group chats talking to some people doing stuff on chain. Which, I've been talking about Bitcoin and stuff to my parents for basically a decade. And this is the first time anybody in my family has tried to use any on-chain stuff. So we'll see how it goes. I basically just told her, like, please don't put a lot of money into this and like just assume every dollar you put in you're gonna lose. But we'll see what she does. I didn't tail her on the Luna Classic buy.
Sad.
Yeah, I know it's up. She let me know it's up.
22% today, 85% on the week, 215% on the month.
Dude, she's out trading me. She came in 1 week clear head, was like boom, 80% in a week. Like, she's out trading me. So
incredible thing.
And I told her it was a scam. So now now she's gonna come in and think I'm stupid. Yeah, and be like, clearly everything he tells me is wrong. I'm just gonna buy what God is telling the spiritual people to buy.
Luna Classic chart, man. This is one. This is a tough one.
I mean, even if it goes back to like $1, dude. I mean, this is the type of logic people use. They look at this and they're like, "What was 119, and now it's a 1/1,000,000th of a penny." Like, if this goes back to a penny, we can hit 1,000x. Like,
these are the trades I was taking on in like 2020 when I was first joining. Like, I was buying like the poodle token off of Jonathan Bale's tweet. And like, what if it hits a penny? That's all we need. So well, good luck.
I almost showed her wrecked. I was like, well, if you want a low unit price token, I got a good one for you. But we'll let her cook, and hopefully she doesn't lose too much money. And I mean, hopefully she makes money, honestly. Like, that is what we want. I just I worry, it's your parents doing stuff on chain. They don't know what liquidity pools are. They don't even know the difference between like the wallet apps they're in. It's a jungle out there. So I just tried to tell her, like, be safe and don't lose too much.
Be careful. Yeah. Careful. Be careful with Luna.
But my mom, I mean, I'm a degenerate gambler. One of my favorite memories of my mom growing up is this period of time, which was over a year, where she thought she solved the lottery and was playing the lottery every day. Like, she's just a gambler. I get it from her. So introducing her to this is like introducing a junkie to fentanyl, but I just hope it does not end up too badly.
Indeed. Well, she'll have a lot of other games to play on chain if
she loves Yeet. Shout out Yeet. That is actually the whole reason she has a crypto wallet, because when she would visit me, I would put a couple $100 on my Yeet account and we'd play Keno together, and she loves that. And now she bought her own VPN and plays Keno herself on Yeet. So shout out Yeet. That's actually what onboarded her.
Shout out to our partners over at Yeet.
She was playing Keno at a bar doing like the 80 number Keno, where it takes like minutes for all the numbers to come out and stuff. And she loves that. And now she said she doesn't go to the bar anymore because it's too slow. She wants the Yeet like 5-second dopamine rush. So
yeah, I mean, Yeet Keno on lightning mode.
She doesn't like lightning mode because she likes hearing every individual noise.
Okay. I can
yeah. Lightning mode's too quick. You don't get your money's worth. You got to hear every single noise.
Well, you mentioned your favorite tweets to go back to, the easy road. Well, I've got a favorite tweet that I will start going back to, and this is the fractal of 2016 Bitcoin overlaid on Zcash. So Darren, someone known in the space for quite some time, he used to jump on.
Yeah, we love Darren.
This is with us a few years back. He's doing quite as much. He spent like a year and a half not even really trading crypto, and he was public about it. And he made the right call.
Oh yeah,
the sectors he was in were outperforming, but he's back, And one of his points is that no one has the Moon Boy targets anymore. Like everyone's looking for like 10%, 20% scalps. Who's believing in things? So he's doing his part. Right? He starts May 1st with this. Zeke with the market cap of Bitcoin, your classic.
Market cap of Bitcoin, just straight up.
So if Zeke was to match Bitcoin, it'd be at 148,000 a token. All right, that's one data point. And then he does the fractal. So if folks aren't familiar, the ZEC token has the same tokenomics as Bitcoin. The same halving timelines, all of that, but it came out much later. So effectively, ZEC is the same time period as Bitcoin was in 2016. So our good friend Darren looks back. So Bitcoin was trading in $300, $800 range when it had 16 million circulating tokens. Went into price discovery around $1,000 and cycle top to 20,000. Right now, ZEC trades in a $300 to $800 range. Has the same 16 million circulating supply. It will go into price discovery around 1,000 cycle tops at blank, blank, blank. Choose your own adventure, so to speak. And this singular tweet kind of got me off the sidelines. I knew I've been wanting to get into ZEC. And I'm just like, you know what? If ZEC's going to 20K this cycle, like, why do I need to try to find an entry at 350 or 370? I'm just going to buy it at 400.
So you're back.
And I did. I'm no longer ZEC-lined. I'm in, and I have quite the lofty target.
All it took was one Moon Boy Hopium tweet from a person we respect who hasn't been paying attention to crypto in the last, but not paying attention. That's not the right word. Hasn't been actively trading it. I know he's paying attention to it all the time. But I like that target. I mean, that fits my bias. That could get us out of a few jams. I was personally going to be like super excited for $1,000. So $20,000 sounds 20 times better than what I would have been excited for. I also just, we're mentioning Zcash. I also like the Monero chart. That's another one where I just have a little bit. I got these like 2 small bags of Zcash and Monero from the October-November timeframe, where we did kind of well on the Zcash perp trade before we gave some of it back. And we just took some of that profit and shoved it into some privacy tokens and then buried them essentially so that we don't look at them. And I think that is still a pretty nice thing to do. And the Monero chart looks good.
It does look good. I'm on the very high time frame, and this looks like a 4 or 5 year cup and handle that's about to break out.
Well, we had the chart looks kind of foobarred because there was that like multi-$100 million hack where they bought Monero with it, and the price just went from like, it was like $400 to almost $800. It like doubled almost in a day or in a candle, and then obviously retraced as the market corrected. So the chart looks kind of weird, but if you like take out that literal scam pump, it looks pretty good. I don't know. Like if we're pushing the privacy narrative because we like it for Zcash, like in my head, it only makes sense that like Monero would do good under the privacy narrative too.
I mean, I agree with you. Mert's take is that like the Monero privacy model isn't as good. He compares it to like a 16 cup like sleight of hand game. That's effectively how the model works, and the ZEC is more sophisticated. It's a little bit over my head. I haven't really dug in on the specifics.
Yeah, I guess when I like meet a drug dealer who takes Zcash, I'll weigh it a little more heavily. But honestly, like most of drug dealers I know, they'll just take USDC. So I need to meet new drug dealers too.
That's the Monero bull case, right? Is it the actual people who are trying to use privacy primarily use Monero, or ZEC?
It's like the Lindy privacy thing, whereas I feel like Zcash has more of this quantum angle as well with it. Like I don't, no one really mentions the quantum shit when they're pulling up the Monero chart, but I feel like with Zcash lately, that's another thing that people tack on top.
Post-quantum private Bitcoin. That's the pitch, right?
It's
right
good.
there. It's 4 words. It's hard to screw up.
The best pitches are short. 4 words is pretty short. It's a good pitch. Hits good buzzwords too.
Oh yeah, it's got all the buzzwords. The fundamentals are actually going up. The shielded pool keeps going up. It's getting faster as well. So there's teams really working on this. They're throwing some money on it. But yeah, quite the run. We will see where it goes. Clearly, my targets are high. Hyperliquid's on its own little run, kind of back into top of the range. I mean, it's really grinded up since January. Yeah, you got the entry. You got the second entry in the low 20s there in mid Feb.
And
And
you're
kind
not
of
going to be surprised when
stabilization.
hype is at like $100 or close to $100. That you're going to be like, oh yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Do you feel like how big of a deal is HIP 4? So the news from this past week, Hyperliquid
It's just
did
like
launch
pure
markets.
like right tail upside in my head, right? Like when we bought hype, the original thesis, there was nothing around prediction markets. And right now, if you obviously like just look at everything Hyperliquid's doing outside of prediction markets, it's a very healthy ecosystem as it is. So HIP 4 to me is just like giving you more upside on Hyperliquid with like little, if any, downside. I guess there's like some downside risk if it just fails so astronomically bad that like people are turned off, but that's so I think unlikely that it's I mean it's non-zero, but it's closer to zero than it is like 5%. So I think, personally it's just like uncapped upside for hype. Like if HIP 4 does well and takes any meaningful volume away from call sheet poly market, like that's huge for Hyperliquid. And if it does poorly, I don't think it impacts like the core Hyperliquid business much at all. So for me, it's just like uncapped upside.
I think that's a fair way to look at it. Have you dug in? Do you know much about their intentions? So they're starting with the Bitcoin market each day. Effectively, you can bet on the price of Bitcoin. It can be used as a hedge to a degree. Are they going to focus mostly on just like macro crypto, or are they actually going to run like are we going to bet on the Lakers Oklahoma City game?
That I'm not sure, but why wouldn't they want to go for the entire prediction market rather than just like crypto prediction markets? Like in my head, it would maybe if they start out with the crypto only stuff, that makes sense. So they make sure like the product's working in an environment that they're the most familiar with. But then why would they not expand to where the biggest volume is, especially for like the big prediction markets that already exist? Like you would want to try to take away that market share from them.
Yeah, I can see both sides. Like if you want to be the true everything app, then yeah, you just want all of it. And we know sports is clearly one of the biggest drivers of prediction market volume. On the other hand, if you've got like there's the user who wants to sports bet in their sports betting app or prediction market, and they want to do their trading in their trading app. So like having more, I mean, you could just have crypto markets and TradFi markets tied to all their other HIP 4 tokens, right? And get some fairly substantial action from that. But talking through it, I kind of guess like there's just not as much like what's the downside though? It's like once you have the tech to launch the markets, I guess there's the liquidity you need. And are you taking on some risk there, just market making it effectively being the house on some of the markets, so to speak?
Yeah, I don't know if you spin up a HLP like thing for that or not either. Probably not. But yeah, I think it's just upside. Like when we were buying this, we weren't really. I don't think I ever thought of Hyperliquid as like a prediction market competitor until the start of this year when I feel like HIP 4 maybe got a little bit more traction. Like other than that, it wasn't even really a thought of mine. So it's just upside.
And I don't think it's
speaking of
going to be
upside, dude, I'm looking at stocks. Have you bought any stocks? Like any individual stocks?
No, not really.
It's
Like
so bad. So I opened up a new brokerage account last week. That's how much the FOMO has gotten to me with stocks. Wow. I opened up a new Fidelity account and sent some money to it, but I didn't buy anything, which was a mistake because anything I would have bought would have went up. But I'm just kind of getting sick of opening up my tracker and looking at like Intel and SanDisk and Micron. Like today, Intel is up 13% again. And I gotta listen to fucking the titty boy guy on Thread Guy's show talk about how he's full port Intel and like doesn't need to work a day in his life again. And then you got people on Reddit who are like, yeah, my like mom or grandma died. I got 700K. I just put 600K of it in the Intel. And then these people are up like multiples. I have too much FOMO. So this week I am going to buy something. Like I got this brokerage account freshly set up for this. But man, like it does make me question sometimes what we're doing. Like I know we're excited for Bitcoin and stuff, but I have a lot of FOMO looking at shit like Intel and SanDisk and Micron and any other thing that's up 10% on the day when I switch over out of the crypto tab on TradingView to my stocks tab.
Yeah. Even on our green days, we're like Hyperliquid's up 7% today, but there's
yeah, cool. Hyperliquid's up 7%. Well, Intel's up 13%, so I'll just go fuck myself.
SanDisk is up 11%, MU's up 9%. Wow. Yeah.
And this is like, yeah, and then
it's happening every day, it seems.
and then I keep going back to Robinhood. This is the one where like it feels kind of relatively cheap. It's at $75, 76, and it's like still down 50% from all-time high. And this is where it kind of gets a little scary for me because like I know I don't have an edge in stocks. All I'm thinking about is like, you know, I know a lot of people use Robinhood, and this is like the Gen Z centralized Hyperliquid. I don't know how else to frame what Robinhood is. So yeah, I mean that one looks interesting to me, but it's not. They're not making hardware, and they're not making stuff that is consumed by the AI bottleneck, so the price doesn't go up astronomically.
Yeah, if you're not in an AI bottleneck, it's hard to buy right now.
And then yeah, it's bad though. Like I've resisted opening up my own brokerage account. Like I have other accounts that are with our wealth advisor and stuff that, you know, I don't really touch. But this is like the first one where outside of my old Robinhood account, which I didn't like to keep a lot of money on my phone, so I didn't use it as much. Like this is the first one where I made it and was like, okay, I'm gonna put like a good amount of size in here and buy shit. So that has to be a top sign, right? If I'm finally doing that, like that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think the roaring 20s are just really roaring right now. The AI trade is not a bubble, it's a boom. I do firmly believe that. So
yeah, and we mentioned too at the top of the show, like NFTs are back. We're seeing Grail NFTs sale again. Like I haven't. We're seeing Skulls of Lucy sale. We're seeing some new wallet come in and buy, you know, 300 plus ETH worth of hoodie punks. We're seeing Fidenzas get swept again. We're seeing the next Fidenza get minted and pump and dumped again. Like it's just so much, so much stuff to have some hope about, man.
There is. Well, let's talk about NFTs for a bit since you went there.
Yeah.
You kind of summarized it. So we saw, I would say, another weekend rally. It wasn't as fierce as some of the other weird weekend rallies. Bored Apes went to like 11.5. Pingu's got close to 6. But then I think where it really came was you had some really serious Grail sales. So like your cousin, is cousin the right word? Your 3D hoodie punk sold for about $469K, $479.
Yeah, and there's another buyer of a 3D hoodie out there too. I know Peter isn't here today, but I saw he listed his. Seems like him and another buyer are like 150K apart from each other, but I wouldn't be surprised if you see another one sell.
So Grail punks and apes are moving. 211K for a gold Bored Ape is something I think it's fair to say we may never see again, but hey, we are.
I think I brought it up last week, but just shout out again to like Figgy and the apes for putting together the Grails OTC stuff and working with Cyrus on lending, and just having something like that makes collecting Grails for that collection like honestly probably like 10x more enjoyable.
It matters too. So a friend, Perilous, he went to the Adam Weitzman dinner that he put on in New York, I think Friday or Saturday night, or I don't know what it was. And sitting next to him, he was basically sitting next to like a really rich guy who only buys NFT Grails. But like, you need an easy way for folks like that to operate, right?
Yeah, like right now, it's like you have Eli, who's probably the most popular broker and knows a bunch of people. And it's like, if you don't know Eli, you gotta just pound down some doors on Discord and Telegram and Twitter. It's like Punks OTC or Eli. So it's nice to see like more of the I guess focus on grails from the higher end collectors. I mean, even CloneX is up 13% today. I still every day am wondering in the back of my mind who the hell acquired CloneX and when they're gonna let us know who it is.
Oh, we're gonna find out.
Because that's still one of the more interesting, at least NFT world, that's one of the more interesting unannounced pieces of information. And kind of shockingly, it's been pretty well gate kept. Like I have not seen even like a credible rumor of who it could be. And I feel like other acquisitions, there's a good amount of leakage from people involved. So I don't know who bought it.
We are a niche where information gets leaked
Yeah.
very, very easily. So let's just we can start there. So it's rare for key information like this to be withheld. The monthly numbers are crazy. Board Apes up 77%. Punks are lagging. They're only up 7% on the month. Still waiting for
Yeah,
Punks.
they are. You could argue that Bored Apes were so beaten down versus Punks that like they had to kind of catch back up a bit.
Mhm.
It's hard to believe at one point, Bored Apes were actually worth more than Punks, even though it was a short amount of time. So it doesn't necessarily scare me that Punks aren't catching a similar bid. But yeah, at least Punks aren't dropping. People aren't selling Punks to buy the other NFTs, which is good at least.
Yeah, I think that's
Can
true.
tell myself that'll help me cope with it.
I'm not scared, but it'd be fun if we, got a little bit of action. I would say, well, my crazy hair blonde cousin sold for like 60 ethers.
Was that a wash trade or is that a legit sale? Because I remember seeing that and I tweeted it looked like a nice sale, but like felt, I don't know, it felt a little weird.
Yeah, we haven't really seen
that premium on those. And I always just check on like Punk strategy. I don't own any, but just like to see what punks they have listed and maybe what like flywheel could happen.
Yeah.
I saw, I think today OpenSea added the Punk strategy punks to their Punk page, which they've already been on Gandhi for a while. But it is nice to just kind of see them get aggregated. They don't have that many under 40 though, so.
Isn't this one like, how do you know it's one of their punks? I thought this one was.
Let me go see. I actually don't really look at punks on OpenSea.
Oh, here we go. It's just the owner, so you can see it owned by Punk Strategy. So you still have to like click it. But,
oh yeah. So I like Gandhi's a little more than where it has the like symbol next to the name, so like within a second. But
what if I told you that as a play on the Bored Ape rally, I bought some Ape Strategy token? How would you react to that?
I mean, I particularly like the strategy tokens kind of just are tough for me because of the fees. So I would react pretty neutrally. I wouldn't be like, oh, that was genius. I think every strategy token I'm holding, I'm still down like 60+% on, which I'm only holding Vibe strategy and Pain strategy now. I think I tax loss harvested the rest before the end of the year.
Well, neutral would be the wrong reaction. Negative would be the correct reaction. I absolutely rinsed on.
So what happened? A bunch of holders just dumped as soon as the flywheel started kicking back off because they wanted to get out?
I guess. And like, I wasn't really digging into like, oh, where are all the floor listings? I just, in my head, like, okay, if we're going to see weekend rallies for Bored Apes, it would make sense that this token would.
That got sold off brutally.
So I'm done.
Done with the strategies.
Underwater strategy tokens. Maybe playing fresh ones like UPEG had a UPEG strategy. I can maybe see like playing the early days of a new one. Or if you find an environment where they've got like a bunch of floor listings that if a sweep comes, you're just going to buy back. But
Yeah,
too
like
many people are
other deeds, I
underwater.
think might have been in that scenario.
Yeah. So
It's tough because at the end of the day, with any chart, when you zoom out, like if you look at the highest price the point's ever been, you know that there's bag holders from those high prices. And anytime there is any pump, even if it's not close to what the bag holders originally paid, they're seeing their balance, double or triple for the first time in a while, and they just want out. And like, it's not a strategy specific thing. That's just in every token. And it's in general a reason why I don't like to buy the super depressed tokens. But with strategy in particular, it's like, well, they're also paying these big ass fees. So like they paid 10% to get in and they gotta pay 10% to get out. And that adds like an extra drag on the token as well. So those fees, in my opinion, I mean, I told Adam this before he launched the strategy stuff. I thought they were too high. And it would kill volume over the long run. But we'll see what
it is
happens.
brutal. I took the 10% on the way in and the way out. And it's just like such a kick in the teeth, especially on the way out. Like,
Especially when you're losing. Like it's the same problem I have with royalties with like NFTs, right? Like paying that 5 or 10% when you're already losing 25, 50, whatever percent feels terrible.
oh
It's
yeah,
like it feels a lot better when it's dynamic and you pay the royalty when gain 50% or a 2x or something. But when you're paying it on losses, I mean, there's very few worse feelings in crypto than paying a tax on a loss.
totally agree.
Like,
There's all
that's terrible. But I guess that's the thing with the strategy tokens too. Everybody knows what they're getting into. Maybe next time you'll just buy like what kennels, or like would you buy like the cheapest? Would you buy other deeds? Like if you could go back in time, would you have just bought an ape for that exposure? Or would you have bought a mutant? Would you have bought the deeds? Would you have bought a coda? Would you have bought the kennel club? Would you have bought heavy metal? Would you have bought would you have bought 12-fold on ordinals? Like what how would have been.
Yeah, that's a good question. Either ape coin or just going downstream to like, okay, if Bored Apes run, I think.
Oh yeah, this is kind of a fun conversation with ApeCoin versus Pangu.
Mm,
Like I saw a couple of good points on the timeline that like ApeCoin is pretty much
fully out
fully
there. Yeah, no more, no
fully
more.
circulating. There's like 8.8% left or something small. Um and it's out there at a fully diluted valuation of like 160 million. Whereas Pangu has it's like 0.7% of the supply unlocks every month or something. Um and still has quite a bit to go. Is that true? I haven't looked at the tokenomics,
Yeah,
but
Cyrus was tweeting about this, and we know he's a Pingu bull.
yeah, and he's very sharp in general. He's like probably one of like 5 or 10 people when he says something I actually try to listen.
The only counter to this is like Pingu is like the culture coin, meme coin of pudgy penguins, right? Ape has never really been that. Like
It's like the L2, the DAO, the whatever.
yeah, you had to have it to mint other deeds, right? So like it was like a utility coin. It's going to be somehow tied into the metaverse. And then there was Ape Chain. Yeah,
It is
it's
interesting
unclear what
comparing the prices of the NFTs compared to their relative tokens, though. Like, if Ape was just a pure meme without an L2 and stuff, do you think it would trade at like a significantly higher valuation?
Yes.
Because it does seem crazy that Ape is 160, but a floor Ape is 10 or 11, and then Pangu is at 910, but a floor Penguin's like 5.5.
The ratios are way off. Yeah, it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. And it's giving me some pause in this Pingu rally, but it's also been one of the highest.
Or does it make you just like feel like Pangu is the premier asset in the Penguin ecosystem compared to actually owning the Pudgy?
I think
Whereas like in the Ape ecosystem, the Ape is that asset, not the Ape token.
Yeah, I think that's the
Yeah.
takeaway. You
So
nailed
if
it.
you want to invest in Pudgy, it's like you're better off buying this token. And then if you want to invest in Ape, maybe you're better off owning a Mutant or any of the assets.
On a related note, or at least on the NFT topic, Art Blocks is back, baby.
Yeah.
50, 60x from Mint for
I
a good
completely
time.
missed this one too.
I
I missed
saw
it until someone put it in a group chat. And so, actually, no, someone put this in a group chat when they were 0.05 ETH. And I looked at it and was like, it's just not doing it for me. It's cool. But like, I own a lot of art blocks. And I didn't really think twice about it until like 2 days later, or a day later, when it was the next Fidenza.
it was the next Fidenza across the whole weekend. At one point, it went to like a 1.7 ETH floor. There was just no listings. Everything was getting eaten up. Like clearly, it overshot there. It did. It went back to like 1.2. It's hanging out at 0.8 right now. But even from here, it's still 30x from its mint price. I think there was an art mint today at like 3x, and it was a bit of a gas war. So I think we're seeing where the winds are going a little bit. The next art drop by anyone decent that looks halfway decent is going to be a gas war.
It's so tough too, because like at the end of the day, if he minted out 365 of these for, what was the price, like 0.02?
0.25, I think.
Yeah, so like the amount that the artist made compared to the amount the flippers made is like so different. And then you assume half the people flipping probably aren't paying the royalty anyway. Which is the whole reason like Art Blocks used to do the Dutch auction with a refund, right? Because it was like trying to find the demand price of like, because what happens is as soon as you have a drop like this Gift of Time, where it's like very low cost basis and it does well, then like every drop after that for at least 2 weeks, if not longer, is like gas ward, competitive, and then most of the supply goes to people who like really don't want the art at all. They just want to sell it. And then that like kind of kills the momentum of those collections until those people are out, which is sad to see. Like that's kind of what happens with Art Block Summer. Like you had obviously Ringers and Fidenza and stuff did really well. And then we were like, okay, well, we can't mint things for like $100 if they're going to be worth 30,000 in a month. And then, you know, we should mint them for like 5,000 or 10, whatever. And then the next thing you know, it's like geometry runners and
Artists
2 years of people not caring about curated outside of like gazers and a few one-offs. So it's a slippery slope. Like
it is.
I feel bad for, you know, I'm always going to be a little more empathetic with the artists. It's like they put all their time into this. The artist behind Gift of Time, Manuel, he was spending time in Marfa, you know, working on this for a long time, put a lot of heart and soul into it. It does well. And then I'm sure, you know, he's going to have people in his ear like, hey man, I bought this for 1.5 because I thought it was the next Fidenza, and now it's like 0.6. Like, what are your plans to like make the next Fidenza in price? And it's like, I'm gonna make art because I'm an artist, and I kind of feel bad for like how some of these things go.
Yeah.
But that being said, it is nice just to see some type of return to, I guess, what's the right word? Return to demand.
Yeah, I mean, an alternative is no one cares.
Yeah, I mean, that's way worse. Like, I would much rather have this problem. I'm not saying that I wouldn't.
Yeah,
just kind of thinking through, like, well, we've seen this story before and what happened.
Agree.
But I mean, Fidenza might be the next Fidenza. People are buying them again. I had somebody message me last week, a sharp person who I respect, who doesn't, I would say, trade NFTs that often anymore, but before they do, will just ask me about my opinion on things randomly. And Fidenza was like the one thing that they brought up out of nowhere. They were like, hey, you know, obviously these used to be like $1 million and now they're not. Like, do you think they ever go back to higher prices? And I was kind of like, you know, a little bearish and just said, you know, I don't know. There's a lot of people who still got them for cheap and are happy to sell them for 20, 30, 40 ETH when the prices get there. So I don't know, but it is nice to see. I assume the people who buy these are people who are around in 2021 who have that high watermark in their head of like, if this was $1 million and now it's 20 grand, like what if it goes back to like 80 grand or 100 grand?
Wouldn't surprise me at all to see Fins is back at 100 grand. mean, there were
No, I
other
mean, you see shit like
yeah.
Ether rocks are still trading at stupid prices. We saw, Lost Robbie still sell for 300. Obviously the supply on these is a little different than the 1K Fidenza, but yeah, you wouldn't be surprised at all to see Fidenzas back over 100 grand.
So squiggles are let's check on so
They're low.
5.5. So when Gift of Time was running this weekend, in my head it was like 1.6. I was like, this has got to be close to the ceiling, because unless you really think it's the next serious grade, like squiggles are 2.5. Like Windsor Yawanawa is 2.9. So like in my head, how far can these new ones run if these are the floors of some sets that our existing collector base? We know.
I mean, even ringers are 9, dude. Like ringers used to be like well over 100 grand.
So I feel like the cap on some of the newer art collections is probably fairly low, but if the grails start moving, that the ceilings can go higher. Nice action on masks, same spread masks up to 6.9.
Yes, a lot of those moved over the weekend. I don't know if things were said at the Adam Weitzman dinner or what. Honestly, I wish I could have just like flew into New York for a day and went to the dinner and left, because that looked like a pretty good crowd of people to be around. But definitely watching masks rip feels vindicating, because I've been holding these for, I mean, holding Sam stuff is the easiest thing for me to hold in terms of like NFT stuff. Like if I had to sell my punk or my skull, I would sell my punk over the skull. Like that's how much I am bullish on Sam. Like, so these have been really easy to hold, and it's nice to finally see some movement, because these were going for close to mint price in USD terms over the winter. Like they were down to 7, 8, 9K. And now they're back up to 13, 14. And yeah, full disclosure, I own like, I don't know, 6 or 7 masks and 2 player editions and a skull. So I'm like super biased, but Sam is one of my favorite people in the world, and these are still the easiest thing for me to hold in NFTs.
I like him. I was talking to Anonymous. He's been a big grifter bull, and he's also he has a lot of masks.
Yeah, like over time I would think these flip grifters, but that's just me being so biased. Like I've never had a dinner or like hung out with X Copy, so I just don't feel the same way I feel about him as I do Sam. I can just like pick up my phone and call him and talk to him, and
that's part of the bull case, right? So he can go reach the collectors, and they can.
Yeah, and I know that. I mean, I don't know how much. I'm not gonna say too much, but I know that like X Copy and other anonymous artists, they do meet with collectors and do shit too. Like I don't want to act like they just sit in some like ivory tower with a hood up and act like they don't exist. Like they're out there doing stuff. It's just not on the openness level that Sam has, obviously.
Well, we ended up doing 15 to 20 minutes on NFTs. It was good to catch up. Let's do rapid fire with a couple other topics here. So one, Coinbase layoffs.
Tough.
We got the unfortunate news. Brian Armstrong, they're laying off 14% of Coinbase. It's like 700 employees. One notable, so he points to AI as one of the drivers in this. I kind of missed this on my first read. Non-technical teams are now shipping production code, and many of our workflows are being automated. How do we feel about non-technical teams pushing code?
I mean, I hope it's not the H1B employees who are leaking our customer data. Hope we're not letting them be the non-technical people pushing code.
I appreciate this conceptually, but
why do you tweet
really
this?
Don't like this.
Like, why do you tweet the layoff thing? Like, why is that a thing? Like transparency? Like, hey, we sent this to everybody, and we know if we don't tweet it, one of them are just going to post it anyway. So like, here's me posting it.
I think so. And I mean, I get it. I don't mind the posting of the update, just being upfront about it. And I don't mind the layoffs. I posted, I think they're probably just an overbloated organization. 5,000 employees is insane. And I don't even think this is really AI. I think it's just bottom performers getting.
I think AI does give you a good excuse if you're a CEO or, high up at a company to justify just like axing the dead weight. Because even, I mean, I would argue that any company like over 20 people probably has dead weight in it.
Yeah.
Even if it's like one person, like out of the 20, like I think there's dead weight everywhere. So I mean, maybe not on the Hyperliquid team. That's one of the few exceptions. But yeah, I mean, if you have thousands of employees, there's definitely people you've probably wanted to cut but couldn't justify, and now you can.
The crypto founders, CEOs, let's just be careful. Shipping prod code from Claude that hasn't been tested. We've had enough exploits in the month of April. We don't need to see it continue. Rapid fire mega ETH. How are you feeling?
So I ripped packs on Andy's site this weekend. That was my actually first time using Mega ETH. And it's very nice from a consumer perspective. I've used the gotcha platforms on every other, chain, Base, Solana. I guess I haven't used them on Abstract, but I basically was pretty impressed with how snappy it was. It felt like I was just I guess on GameStop or a centralized website. And it definitely felt like an upgrade over Base, just in terms of the way the UX was. It was instant. So that was nice. I messaged Andy and let him know that I thought it was definitely better and you could feel it. The slowest thing on the whole process was the balance update on the front end of the monster site, because everything happened so fast on the back end that a lot of times I'd have to refresh the page because the balance wasn't updating quick enough. So that felt nice, but I haven't messed with the other apps. I don't really have a full idea of everything that's going on over there. Price wise, I mean, clearly the market sold off and is back to the pre TGE price.
Yeah, I guess this is kind of where we were traded, right? We were kind of in that 12 to 14 cent range.
So I mean, maybe that was a pretty efficient price for what it is at this time. But yeah, I need to see more. My problem is right now I'm so dialed in on the Pokemon gotcha shit, and I'm not dialed in on any type of DeFi stuff, or I don't really want to go trade shit coins on Mega ETH. So there's not a lot for me to get super excited about.
Yeah, I still think waiting on a few more apps to really capture the zeitgeist, and it's tough. We had it with Fancy Top and Blast, and I guess a few of the Blast apps, but since then we really haven't had the consumer.
Tough to get a good flywheel going where you're incentivizing RefLink or affiliate or big accounts to shill the thing to get more people to come in, and then everybody's rewarded. I remember Blast, I think, was the only time I ever had a ref code in my name. Because everything on Blast had referrals, and just getting those referrals was such a big deal. So I feel for maybe some of the Mega ETH stuff, I haven't getting that flywheel like Blast had is tough. And we were way more optimistic during the Blast days too. So it was easier to, throw $50 million into a North Korean smart contract and then get rugged the Munchables.
It's going to be something special to get everyone rallying around another game, I think. But hopefully it comes. One more. We got our statement from Zero. Brian Pellegrino came out.
Yeah, this is tough too. I've been waiting for this for 2 weeks, and it's just, I kind of feel like it's a mid response. It's yeah, he took accountability. But then when he compared it to a Gnosis safe and him thinking that a lot of people wouldn't set it up that way, it's well, I've seen the stats that 40% plus of shit is set up this way. So how is that not brought up and thought about? And then I still don't see anything about an amount that Layer 0 is contributing to the exploit. We've seen them mention it once, but we haven't seen any amount. And then, half the message is him trying to get us to kind of feel bad for him, I feel so I don't know. It's not the best. It's a response. It's better than no response, but I kind of just expected faster response from this team with more accountability and actually saying hey, we're partially at fault for this blowing up and there being a $200 million whatever hole, and we're really honored or whatever by seeing all of DeFi come together and help bail us out. But we're going to cover X amount and give back X amount to Morpho or some other entity that donated to us that wasn't a reason this happened at all. Like I would expect something like that. And they didn't do that. And kind of disappointed. And I don't know all the legal stuff. I don't understand like everything they can and can't say or can't do. I see like what's going on with this Arbitrum DAO bullshit where these like scam lawyers are trying to somehow freeze the money in the DAO that I don't even fully understand it, but I'm sure you saw what I'm talking about with the Arbitrum DAO ETH being like court order frozen or whatever. So like I understand that there's legal shit there. You know, the layer 0 team wants to not have liability and stuff on, but I just think in terms of like purely from a vibes perspective, it's a pretty mid-tier response from a team that I think we all expected a little more of.
I think that's a fair reaction. And he's kind of verifying what I thought. I thought he was probably just heads down dealing with the security stuff, trying to figure out what else was at risk. And he kind of does say that. But I agree with your thoughts that could have been a little bit more here. And the market's kind of responding in kind, right? You got a little bit of a relief rally off the back of this, but it's kind of selling off against back at the $1.40 level. Are you still holding this? Or have you been?
So I sold a little bit to pay my accountant, but I still have like, I don't know, like 50 grand worth or something stupid. Because I honestly, like, I was waiting for this response from Brian when it was down to like $1.30. I'm just like, dude, he has to say something. Like it was like $1, literally like $1.30.
Yeah, I got that.
And I'm like, well, he hasn't said anything. I'm just gonna hold it. And then yesterday when he said something, I guess I should have just sold it because I had the same take yesterday as I do this morning. Like everything I just said is pretty much what I felt within 30 seconds of reading it. So, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if by next Tuesday I don't have it and that 50 grand is elsewhere.
But at the same time, if the exploits slow down or stop,
if the exploits fixed, they come out and say that, you know, this setup is never going to be a default again. They come out and contribute some type of money and they come out and take slightly more like responsibility. This thing's in my head going back to $2 or, you know, maybe $1.80. So like, I still do kind of like that type of trade, but like if Intel's going up 12% a day, why am I fucking around at zero hoping that like Brian and team say something good when I could just go fund this brokerage account and go be, you know, Leopold's copy trader. Like I just like, what am I doing? Like, what's the opportunity cost to sit in here with Brian's account and the layer 0 core account, Twitter on fucking alerts, waiting for responsibility when I could just go buy like a chip manufacturer?
Yeah,
like that's my one problem.
Just coast off into the sunset.
Yeah, and there's no, you know, North Korean going into the Intel fab and like stealing their fucking top secret, and yeah, like it's not happening.
It's not. Just like investing in Monk has asked me to open up the lit chart. I'm not going to do that. I'll wait till Peter's back.
Here's a fun chart to open up. I bring it up every so often. Have you looked at VVV lately?
It had been soaring.
It's over 10.
Wow.
This thing is just one of the only crypto AI tokens. Like when people were like, oh, I want to buy the crypto AI token, but I don't think it's Tau. It's like, to me, it's been pretty clearly VVV, at least for this year. Like this has been the crypto AI token.
Unbelievable PA here. It's up 5x. I mean, this is better than your Intel returns, folks.
Yeah. This is SanDisk level returns.
AI, baby. I'm still just so jaded from I traded
the launch.
On the launch day.
I have never touched it. I haven't bought it, but I still have it in the top like 20 tokens on my list. And every day I'm looking at it like, man, I wish I wasn't just a biased asshole and would just like want to make money for once in my goddamn life instead of be right.
Besides, have you traded anything in the last week?
What did I buy or sell? Oh, well, there's like a $2 million shitcoin that the Pokemon, the TCG shitcoin that I've talked about before, that hit a new all-time high. Yeah. But I publicly wrote on my thesis that I wouldn't sell any till 5 million. So I actually didn't sell any yet. But that's one where like I could see it. Cards. So cards right now has been a very big narrative. Shout out Ansem, who's been pushing this. It's up, I think, 4x this week. Is that
no? It's up like I think it's up 3.
Or maybe it's 4x this month. It was down to like 10
Yeah.
million when I looked at it.
Yeah, you're right. In about a month, yeah, 4x.
Yeah. So now it's at 40. The on-chain volume for all crypto stuff is going up, no matter what platform. But like the cards platform is doing really well. This token has no utility, no buyback, no governance. Like it's all mimetic. You know, people are pegging the price to the revenue and whatnot, but there's no buybacks or claims or anything on that. But anyway, people are seeing this token do well. They're looking for beta on, you know, Pokemon card platforms. And not that many of them have actually like launched to tokens. A lot of them are still in the farming phase, like Andy's Monster, you know, Fidgetal's BZ, whatever. So this is like one of the only other tokens you can buy. So that's been nice to see that get some love.
I'm in this. And
You're in cards?
I'm in cards. I'm trying to think of how to exit. I got in at like 20. So I'm at like 2x here, which is kind of what my target was.
Is this a scenario where you take out like half on a double and moonbag it, or how are you going to?
It wasn't a huge trade, but yeah, I think that might be a play. I'm with you.
So there's two sides of this. Like it could very easily, in my head, go to like 100 million if people just go off these revenue numbers. But then it could retrace like, you know, 50% plus because you have the Ansem pump with the kind of lack of like buybacks or any type of fundamental value to this token. So like I could see the argument for both of them. But it was a nice trade at 20 for sure. You bought that over the weekend?
No, like a couple weeks ago. So I've held it. So I bought it like in this pump to 20 here.
Have you used their platform at all to rip anything or collect or?
No, I don't do a whole lot of gotcha stuff. I did do Andy's Monster. It was fun, but I got rinsed.
Oh yeah.
All my card pulls were bad.
I think I have to ask Andy again, but last time I checked, I was the third highest ROI on Monster. I think I was up like $8,000 maybe net. I just got lucky and then stopped, which is rare. But I think the gotcha platforms are the only type of gambling where I can actually stop where I'm ahead.
I see why people like them.
They're better EV than ripping packs. Like this is the thing that's tough for me, where like I want to intuitively not like a reseller platform that is buying things and repackaging them and selling them to me in like their own type of grab bag. Like that intuitively feels like I'm getting rinsed. But after spending tens of thousands of dollars on both just buying packs of Pokemon cards and then ripping gotcha rolls, like the EV on gotcha rolls is significantly better. I think on the average Pokemon pack, you're like expecting to lose 80%, if not more, of your money. Whereas like the average gotcha roll, you're expecting to lose, I don't know, 10, 15% maybe at the most. A lot of these are closer to 5. So it's night and day difference, even though, I mean, it is way more fun to just go open up a pack of cards because you could buy Ascended Heroes and rip a card that's worth over $1,000. And that ROI is like maybe not possible on some of the gotchas.
Yeah. So that's those trades. I made there's a couple small microcap. I'm in a peptide token that I can't disclose. It's too.
Oh, dude, you're gonna have to tell me about this one.
If it's still around next week, maybe.
Because we brought up peptides on the show last week. Because I remember, just thinking, you know, what's the next wave of where's capital gonna flow? Where's the narrative? And it's like, well, this peptide narrative has been picking up more and more and more.
It is. I'm bullish on a peptides token eventually breaking out. I don't know if it's the one I'm in, but I do think that is eventually going to happen. I've got the asteroid chart up. It's at 185 million. This thing, another Ansem pump.
Yeah. This is market bubble, dude.
He's pumping all my coins. So I had cards and asteroid.
So what group chat are you in where Ansem's telling you what he's gonna pump before? I'm not in that chat. I need to get in it. So what made you buy asteroid and what price and when did you get this? Because this is one where when I saw it was over 100 mil, I think we talked about it last week. I'm like, I don't think Elon's gonna do this. I know it's a good feel-good story. Like, clearly, I was maybe wrong, and the price is better, and I should have bought. But like, what are we doing here with asteroid?
I bought it like 22 million.
What?
The first when Elon replied to the tweet, the mom's tweet, and said,
"Do you have Elon on Twitter alerts?"
I do, but I wasn't like super fast. So like If folks remember, like it was in this $20 million range for like a day because he said, "Okay, I'll reply like tomorrow." And
Okay.
then like, it pumped, and then it actually sold off like 50%. And then as soon as he actually did give the reply that, "Okay, yeah, you can make it that we'll make it the SpaceX mascot," that's when it went from 15 to 200 in 8 hours. One of the craziest runs we've seen. Um, I've been holding, so I haven't taken any profit on this one just because I didn't put in huge size. I was just kind of getting off the sidelines and playing small ball. I did add a little bit in the 120 range just because I do think the risk reward here still is decent. Like if SpaceX does anything with this thing, it's going to a couple billion. I do believe that.
If we could get Peanut, the dead squirrel, over $1 billion off Elon tweets, you gotta think you get this asteroid.
It's promising to me that it's hung on to 100 and has not dipped below that.
I think a lot of this strength too has to do with it being an Ethereum token.
Yeah, for sure. Different holder base. It's not
this shit would be like down 80% if it was on Solana, I feel like.
It's fought off multiple PvPs. Like if SpaceX never does anything with it, it's just gonna chop decline to zero. But if anything does happen, I think it goes high. So feeling good about my asteroid tokens. And I think that's mostly it. As for the peptides, we'll do a longer peptides discussion when Peter's back. Had a question in the chat asking about Eli Lilly stock.
Yeah, so
strong.
I think I brought that up last week, but my buddy who's a doctor who doesn't trade too many individual stocks but is knowledgeable, I asked him if I wanted the long peptides, what is the easiest way? And he said, turn my brain off and buy Eli Lilly. And I said, it's like $1 trillion. It's too high. That's not enough upside for me.
Is it really a trillion?
It's very close. It used to be over $1 trillion.
Oh my God. Yeah, I didn't realize this Lilly was $1 trillion company.
So one thing that did get me bowled up on Eli Lilly is the CEO was on Cheeky Pint, which is the Collison brothers, the founders of Stripe. They have a podcast. And he was on there like maybe in like November or October time is when I listened to it. And I just remember walking away thinking like, oh, this dude is like super sharp. And obviously, I mean, a CEO of $1 trillion company should be super sharp. Mm-hmm. But there are times where I'm not super impressed by CEOs of $1 trillion companies. So all that to be said, it does seem like not that bad of a bet, but it's also so high that it's not as exciting as it should be.
Well, they've got competitors like Novo is coming after one of their products. I still think like as someone who's bought peptides on the gray market, like the Lilly pricing is insane. So like Wegovy, which is Ozempic's like another version of Ozempic, without insurance, it's $1,300
for how long?
For a month.
Holy shit!
And then, like, if you have insurance, it can be as cheap as $5. And then if you don't, like, there's like a coupon you can get for $250 a month. But like, you can buy like a 6-month supply of retatrutide, which is Lilly's wonder drug. That as soon as it gets approved, that's when they're going to make all their money.
Yeah, that's the one I see on like Radsmer talking about on Twitter.
You can get a 6-month supply for $90. So a part of me wonders, like, yeah, is it going to be big for Lilly? It'll be big, but are people really going to start abandoning their sourcing they already have? Well, maybe the government will just squeeze it out. I'm just worried about other competitors coming in and undercutting them, I guess. And like, you don't really have a whole lot of room for error at $1 trillion. Would be the counter, but I don't know. Maybe it's just turned off. Maybe that's
you got Anthropic at $1 trillion or Eli Lilly.
I'm Anthropic if those.
Yeah, that's right. Like it's just hard to wanna buy the more expensive drug company when you buy the expensive AI company that might help you find more drug breakthroughs anyway.
But I am bullish on peptides and peptide stocks. How's Hims real quick before we get to our?
Oh, that's our meme peptide trade.
Oh, it's down. Yeah. So ever since Thread Guy sold, it's struggling. So
he put the top in, came in and topped it and left it for dead.
Hims at $6 billion is much more interesting to me than Lilly at $1 trillion, though. Just as maybe it's a no betas market, and I'm just going to stick to betas.
Yeah, I mean, just the shit coiner in us is gonna think like, well, maybe the thing that needs to go up 200x to be equal to the other thing is like more fun, which it is. It's just less likely to happen.
But all right, well, we've gone around the horn. We talked about a lot. We went 15 minutes over, but fun.
I didn't even realize we were 15 minutes over until people from my 1 o'clock call asked if I was okay. So I'll get going and run off to that. This has been awesome. And next week we'll have Peter back and get some more macro talk and maybe pick his brain on peptides.
Yeah, fantastic. Thanks for joining us, Deez.
Thanks for having me.
All right, folks. We want to thank all of our listeners for sticking with us. Producer Charlie, let's get that wheel up and let's pick a couple winners. We're going to do 2 $500 giveaways here today. Oh, there you go. He clearly had the lion's share of the volume, and it
very well deserved.
So Investing Monk, congrats. You got $500 live in the chat. You love to see. Oh, he's been chatting too. Yeah, awesome. Congrats. Now we're going to do an even wheel. Kimco. All right. Is here in week in, week out. Yeah, I see him chatting up as well. So congrats to both of you. Both won $500. The teams will coordinate with getting that over to you. That's going to be it for today. I want to thank all of our listeners. Deez, thank you. We'll be back next Tuesday. Till then, have a great week. Goodbye.